Hello everyone, this is my game development series. So today I'm going to do some different stuff. This is a different game. I'm still developing other games, actually almost done, but I don't want to show them quite yet. So what I'm going to do here, I've made a new project. It's going to be based off my map thing. If you watch my previous show where I showed you my map thingy, it's going to be pretty much based off that. Anyways, um, right now I'm starting on textures. This is my texture class. I did some pre-made stuff here because some of the stuff takes a while to bring in here, so it's kind of boring. So what I did was over here I made all my directories for my classes, graphics, dialogues, menu, screens, utilities, stuff like that. So what I did here, I made a very basic. It's a object model out of my texture entry and my texture manager, which creates a list of texture entries depending on what it is, and that's where I'm starting off at. So I want to go up here, right up here. Oops, not like that. And I want to go public. It's going to be an enum. It's going to be active through the whole project. That's why it's up here. Now this is called map texture ID for the textures so I can access them really quickly. And there's also going to be another one called public enum. I should have went like this, so it just makes it. And this is for what type of texture is, so it'll bring up the texture if you load it. So this would be texture type. Right now I just have menu. That's it. So in here we go, texture type. We do a param, string names, file names. I do file name, or this file name. I know what it means. So if you ever never deal with params, basically you can do like a list of names and it'll load those all these. It sends them as an array so I can access them. And we're gonna create the list texture entry. I'll do entries. Doesn't really matter. We call it alt entries. I'm actually going to create the whole thing. There it is. It should be, yeah. At the very bottom, it's going to return it out to here, so it can load into a list. Oops, this is in the wrong place. It should be there. So we do for each. It's going to do a for each loop. So it's string. I'm thinking here, should I do it this way? I think, yeah. Entry, file name. So basically it's going to go through each of these file names. That's what this for each loop is doing. Alright, so we're going to do string format equals string dot format. Now I'm doing a special thing here. If you never deal with this, I probably won't explain too much, but basically the first thing in the bracket is going to do the type to string, and the second one is the file name. So it's actually making us like C, like going to C drive colon games. This is what basically it's doing, but it's going through, it's going to go through the content. So no, this basically is a string to load your files. So this will be file. No, this will be entry, not file. Just like that. Alright, so this is missing something. This is missing content manager, content, which is really important because I can't load textures without this. There's other ways I could do this, but I'm doing it this way. Alright, so we go entry dot-add. I'm actually going to do it this way. I'm going to go texture entry texture entry equals new texture entry. We'll do some bracket stuff like this. So the key is the entry. And the texture is content.load. If I can type texture 2D. 2D. It's not in there. I just do format. If I can type format. So that's how it loads it. No, can't do it like that. I have to do it like this. There's other ways I could do this. I have to do this. I have to do some resolve, so it knows what that is. There's actually other ways I can do this. I can make another thing here. Instead of using this, I can do like texture and key, but I'm gonna do it this way because that's how I like it. All right, from that, and I can actually put this directly right into here, which I'm going to do. So I'll just give less space. There. Dude, that's not going to work because it needs it here. Actually, I'm doing this wrong. That's supposed to be there. That's too long. I don't like it. I'm going to leave it as what it is. Entry is the file name. Is the key. Yeah, that'll work. Alright. So from that, we just go to our entries. I'm just going to copy this. Add texture entry. There it is. So after it goes through all of these, it's going to output it to here, and it should work. But I need a way to get the textures. And I'm going to put this in here as a static. So it's public. The reason why I put it in here because it's part of the texture entry, so I'm trying to keep it similar. Alright, so this is texture 2D. Get texture. Now this requires the list thing here. No, I'm not going to put it in here. I'm going to put it into the manager because I'll have to make the list public, and I don't want to do that. So it requires the texture type. And this is going to use object because it's going to use the enum enumerator. The thing up here with all the textures instead of like searching for a key. Object. I'll just do object. I can't do that. I'll do ID. Alright. Now this is like really simple. We go return, but first I have to find it, which one it is. It's if type, before I can do that, I need list, texture entry, entries. Basically create the same thing I created before. If type equals menu, which is the only one I have, then entries equals map textures. All right, it's the only one I have, so I don't really have to worry about it. So it's really simple. Just go like this. Go int. Then we go ID. And we get the texture. And I forgot to put this at the beginning. There is it. There it is. Just like that. It's really simple. I don't have to go through a search thing or a loop because I already restored or excuse me, I already stored the IDs. So this is gonna be empty for now. Not empty. So this is where we load the textures. Now I'm going to create a menu or a folder called menu. I also need to reference something here because I forgot to do this. I need to turn that on. It's not going to do the textures at all. Alright, so I'm going to get some, I have an empty texture here which I'm going to use once I find it. Just give me a second. So I'll need this. Bring this in here. I have to load up. Actually, I'm just going to use this one here. It's going to be one of my close buttons. So it's going to be bar close. Very simple. Alright. So we need to do this. Map textures equals load textures. This is going to look a little weird, but it does work. Content. Texture type goes menu. Now there's two of them. I can actually do this because I can create more in this list. So it's saying it's there because I didn't do that. I'm missing your param string file name. List, map textures. Texture entry. There's my type. There's the content. Oh. And this is going to be private because I don't want this to be accessed. Only if it's in here. There. So I can add like more. Like I'll show you what I mean. Like I can add billions in here if I wanted to. It allows me to load up multiple files, as many as I want. I can just keep going forever if I wanted to. And it'll load each one of those files. But I only have 2 files right now, so I should be able to do this. I don't like it doing that. So I'm going to do it this way. Manually. Alright, let's put it up here. So it's menu bar and menu close. Now it's going to save this key in the string. Like when it creates the texture entry, it also stores the name of what it is, menu bar, and it also stores, well, the texture, loads the texture basically. Alright, so that's all I need to do here. All I need to do is some way to load it up. Alright, so we want to go here, we want to rename this. It is called Tiny Wars Game. It's going to say yes, I want to do that. Go in here. This is all the normal X and A comment stuff, which I'm going to remove here. This one put base.load. If I can spell base.load content. I don't need these. I don't need a lot of this stuff here, and I'm going to remove all this comment stuff. Here, this requires base. Unload. Oops. Don't need this. The only thing I'm going to keep is the clear. The graphics, graphic device.clear. I'm going to keep that. I'll keep the color of what it is right now. Alright, so we need screen manager. Screen manager. It's going to freak out because it doesn't know what that is. Resolve. Should have been here. There it is. Tiny Wars manager screen, which is in here. Manager's screen. Blah, blah, blah. Right here. Go new. This. Alright. I'm gonna put this as a component as well. Components, add screen manager. Now we need some kind of a screen. So I'm gonna start off with my map. So screens, I'm gonna add a new folder called map. Dialog and menu should be in there as well, because it is technically a screen. So we're gonna go to map, add a new class called map screen. Alright, so this is basically a game screen. It runs off game screen. I'm gonna go into here and just copy all this. So I don't have to worry about it. Alright, so it's game screen. So I can public override. Let's do draw. We'll need public override. Update. Do some more. We'll need handle input. And we'll need load content. Load content. Let's put load content at the very top. Update above draw. I always do it this way, disorganizing my stuff. That goes down there. There. Alright. I don't want unload, I want load. I must have did the wrong one. Load content, there we go. Alright, so we need content manager. Manager content equals screen manager game content. So we got the content manager. So we load texture manager. It's gonna not show up. It's gonna freak out. So I do this. And we want to load the content, which is not showing up. Because I'll probably put it as private. No, it's public. Oh. And it runs off content. I could actually put this into here, but I'm not going to. So it's going to load up the textures. That's all I need to do there. Now we're going to do a test here. So we need sprite batch equals screen manager sprite batch. Then we go sprite batch to begin, sprite batch to end and draw, the start and end the draw calls. Draw. Now we need a texture. I'm going to do it this way. So we're going to do vector 2 position equals new. Just do 50. It's going to go 50x and 50y. That's what that means. Okay, we're going to go texture 2D. Texture equals texture manager. Get texture. Texture type equals menu. And the ID, which runs off. So it's a menu texture. This is the, is it called texture first? Let's go in here. Map. I did it completely wrong. Map texture ID, which is, let's do the close button. That's it. That's all I need to do. Alright, let's do here. Draw. Texture. Position. Color. Dot white times transition alpha. It should work. But before I can do that, I need to load the screen. So go screen manager, add screen, new map screen. It is there. It's gonna freak out. It's going all. It's gonna freak out. You're not there. So I do that. Let's load it up. It's gonna load the textures and load the and draw the texture. There it is. There's the button. So I could actually, well, I'm gonna enhance on this. I don't need this. Just need these two. I'm gonna enhance on this. So I want to go graphics. Dot. It's like, what is it called? Preferred width 1280. Graphics preferred height 720. Graphics apply changes. Above this is mouse visible, true. I want the mouse to show on the screen, because if it's not visible, I'll show you. The mouse will disappear when I go on to the graphic. See, it disappears. So I do this, then the mouse will appear above the window. See, it shows. Alright. So, what I'm going to do here, so how long I've been live streaming? For about 22 minutes. I'm going to do a little bit of some map stuff. Let's turn this off. So that's all I have to do here. I just made the screen a little bigger, 1280 by 720p. Which actually, I don't need it right now, because it's going to tilt the window to the right side of the screen of my monitor. So I really don't need that. But it works. Okay, so from this we need a map entry. So we want to go mapped entry. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to happen in here, but I'm just going to do some very basic stuff. So private vector. Is it still here? No. Just copy all this. Doesn't really matter. I can change it later on. Vector 2 position. We also need private texture. 2D texture. We need way to hide and disable the circles. So we need enabled. Oops. Bool enabled. Private bool visible. Probably spelled that wrong, but it doesn't really matter. But we need to know what type of circle it is. Map type. Is it a town? I have to think here. What do I want to have here? So I want a base. So it's like the little circles are like a little plots of land which you can develop units and other stuff. So base, power plant, basically what that means. At the very top it's going to be normal, so it's going to be like land, nothing on it. Base power. What else? Missile silo. I don't know. I'll just have something like that for now. Private map type. The health, I'll need health, because you can actually destroy a base or a power plant, so that they'll actually have health onto them. And there's going to be min and max, because over time, each turn, the map or the node, the circle things they will generate health each turn. So there's going to be a min and max. So min is basically the current health, and max. What else? Now this is more like a flag. It's not. It's not like a visible thing. Is dead. I can set this as false by default. So when you kill something, it's going to turn this flag to as true, so it can remove this entity from the list, because it really doesn't need to be in anymore. So, trying to think of anything else. Later on, I'll add units. Like that's where entities come in. So I have entities telling what units in there and how many health the entity has. Like you can have like guys on little circles, and you'll see stuff like that. So I'm just gonna do public just like this. That's all you need to do for that. But we need a public void update. Oops. Which is going to not run off game time. And we'll need public void draw to draw the node, which is going to run off game screen. There'll be some helper methods and stuff like that, how to draw the nodes on the screen, blah, blah, blah. Alright. Trying to think if anything else I'm missing here. Update, draw. I don't need to do, oh, there is something else. We need a collision. So when the mouse is over the node, I can click it and show more information. So we're going to create a rectangle. I'm just going to call collision. This is very important. This will be very important. So we're going to create a public rectangle. Actually, this is going to be private. This doesn't need to be a public rectangle. Get collision. This will be sent to the update call. So it's going to update every frame, the collision. It only needs to do this once, but I'm going to put this in here anyways. Into the update. Alright, so it's going to return new rectangle. This is position.x. Actually, I need to do this way because these are actually floats. I need to make them into integers. Position.x int position.y position.y. Bring this down here so I can actually read this. This is the top left. This is the top x and y. And this is the width and height. So I'm going to have it like this. No. I'm trying to think here. Oh, this should be good. So this is position.x, which requires int. It's going to freak out. Sorry, freaking out already. Plus texture dot height. No, width. How am I doing? Do int position dot y plus texture dot height. Now we'll get the collision. So when the node moves around in the map, it'll update all this stuff here. That's all I need to do there. Get collision. Collision will be very important. Any draw calls. Well, I can do. Let's get the sprite batch. Go screen. Screen manager, sprite batch. Just sprite batch.draw. Texture, position, color, dot white. Times screen transition alpha. Now if visible, then I'll draw that. Now enabled, I might do different. So if you select that map node, it'll turn gray. So to do that, I need to do this. If not enabled, it's going to draw another call. I'm just going to copy this. Dot black times 0.5f. Just like that. Now think of anything else I need in here. There is. I need a way to get my events. So I'm going to do a region, events, so public, event, handler, which runs off player, index, args, selected. And there's another thing here I need, which is public void selected entry. Let's run around and do this. It's like player index, player. If this is not empty, it's not null, and it is enabled, actually enabled, and is visible. I'm not sure about enabled yet. I was thinking, should I put that in there? I'm not sure. So we just want to do selected equals this, because this item is selected. We go new, player event arcs, player. That's it. This part here I might remove, but for now I'm going to leave it. So when a person clicks one of the circles and it hits a collision, it's going to activate this thing, which runs off player. This may not be player in the future. So if this selected is not null, and it is visible to the screen, because some of the circles would be not visible, so I can make the map more, not all circles all over the place, so it looks more like a actual map, and is visible, then it's going to trigger an event to click that entry or do something. Since it's only one line, I only need to do this. Right, so I don't see anything else here. Got my draw, got my update, got my map. I'm just going to do some cleanup here. So I'm going to do surround with our region, call fields. Fields actually goes right to here. I'm going to put this as its own thing. So I can actually close that, update and draw. Surround this with a region called update and draw. Initialization, I'm probably typing that wrong, but it doesn't really matter. And this is a private method. All my private methods go in here. And in here is my public methods. And I'm going to do something here. String get health. Just returns string.format. I'm doing this way because I like doing it this way. It's just simpler. Min, max, done. It's going to convert it to a string. I shouldn't need to do toString for this type. So here's the min health, what the current health is, and the maximum. Is this static? No, it's not. Good. Alright, that's all I need to do there. Let's close that. Alright, before I close this episode, I'm going to I'm going to draw some of these nodes onto the screen. So we're going to create something here. We're going to create something up here. Let's see here. Let's go public const. No, let's do private. Private const int max width as like, I don't know, 5. private constant, max height as 3. Now this is going to require a couple things. It needs to check each node. So we're going to go up, no, private, update, map, position, which this is going to go into the update call. So it's going to do it by every frame. Just in case something dies in the map, it'll automatically do it. This is a void. Now there is another method here called check map nodes, or check map, which I'm not going to put in here. Basically, it's going to check each map and align up the pathways, which I'm not going to put into this quite yet. Alright, so I can get rid of this. I'll leave the texture. Alright, so we're going to go for, this is Y, this is map height, 4, we're doing an X and Y thing here, max width. Alright, so we've got our X and Y. So the height is 3 and the width is 5. So basically the height is going to be 2 and the width is going to be 4. I'll explain that later on. Alright, so we're going to create a position here. Actually, I can actually get rid of this. I don't need it here. Let's go vector 2, position equals new. So this is X times so I haven't created the nodes quite yet. So I need a way to, so I don't actually have to do it in here. I can actually do it in here. So when it creates a map, it creates it once. Actually, let's see here. Private void create map. I'm going to do it in here so I can change it. If I want to test it, I can press a key and it'll regenerate the map. So we'll go back up again. We want to create a list, map entry, map entries equals new map entries, blah blah blah. Alright, I'm going to take this out of here, put it in here. So when it creates it, it's going to create the map entry. I'm just thinking here. There's multiple ways I can do this. I can do this twice, where it creates a map. It loads up all the textures, then loads up the position, but I probably won't do it that way. So I want to get the texture. Texture equals, let's take this, put this in here. So map entry equals new map entry. Oops. We need the position. Vector 2 position equals new. I'm gonna make it really simple, so let's put some brackets in here. Plus this by 5 for now. Actually, I'm gonna go like this. Const width offset equals 5. This might change. Const int height offset equals 5. Let's do this. Blah. So if I change this dynamically, I can just change the number here and I'll change this. Alright, so this will be X times texture dot width. That's it. Comma, bracket, plus height offset. This will be y times texture dot height, blah blah blah. There it is. So we got position equals position. Oops. Texture equals texture. That's all I'm going to do. Oh. Okay, let's get into here. There's some stuff I didn't do here. Right below events is going to be my properties, public. I'm just going to do 2 for now, just texture and position. Vector 2, position, because it's freaking out, it doesn't know what this is, and I didn't put this in here. Get position equals value, no, return position. Once I put this in here, it will know what this is. Position equals value. I'm just going to copy this. Because it's trying to find, what is this texture? I can't find it because these are private. They're not visible. Texture. There. Oops, value. And these are properties. Do I call them properties? Yeah, I think I do call them properties. I actually call them something else, but I can't. Fields, events. Maybe they are properties. I don't know. See, now this thing is working out because I did that. And from that, so it loads the texture, which is nothing really. I haven't really done anything with that. It sets up the position. It creates the entry, puts the position that it created and the texture. Then from that, all I need to do is go map entries, add entry. So when it goes to the next entry, it's going to change the position and blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to create this only once. So up here, we're going to go create map. And in here, we're going to for each. Map entry. Entry. Map entries. So we need a sprite batch begin. So this is going to actually draw the entries onto the screen. I don't need to do any position, anything, because it's already done. And then in here we go entry, draw this. Just rid of that. That's all I need to do. Because it already did the position, I already did the text. It should be in the right areas. We'll see. This might work, this might not work. Oh, I know what that is. Alright, this has to be public. Let's load up again. Okay, so we got an error here. Close. Index out of range. So it should be 0, 1. It is correct. I load up that texture. Oh, I know what I did. Yeah, it's freaking out because these are not used up. Yeah, this has to be this has to be above creating the map, because I didn't load the textures. Oops. You have to load the textures first. Alright, it should work now. Alright, so I got a blank screen. Alright. So what? Oh, I know what it is. In the map entry, by default, these can be true. because right now they're visible, invincible, because then set these as true. There they are. It's not very pretty at all, but it works. But I'm going to change something here because it's not doing what I want it to do. So let's go in here and let's bracket, unbracket this, bracket that, and it should give more spacing between each circle. Okay, what am I doing? Alright, so it should give spacing between each circle. There it is. That's what I wanted to do, is actually moving it down a little bit, which I didn't want it to do. That's pretty good, so I can actually change this. I can do like 8 if I wanted to. So it's 8 across, 3 down. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Basically it's 8 by 3. I can actually go like 5 if I wanted to. Oops. Still running. Let's do 5. Just to show you I can change the size of it. So now there's like 8 by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There it is. So I won't do any update map position stuff because that's more complicated. I'm creating like the little sticks between each node, each circle, to generate a path, which I'm not going to do in this episode. It's going to show you how I load my textures. The reason why I do it that way is because if you're getting into phone development, you want to load your textures at the beginning. You don't want to load your textures while you're drawing it. That will create a lot of drop frames or lower frame rates. So what I did was I loaded my textures in my load content. That's one thing, that's it. And when I actually complete this game or get close to complete, I'm going to have a loading screen. So when it loads the app, it's going to go to a loading screen. It'll show some picture, but it's actually loading stuff in the background. And that's the only time it's going to load stuff. It's going to load all the assets. Now save games is a little different. There'll be actually save and load screen. When you load the map or save the map, that's completely different. So that's basically best practices if you want to load your content as one thing, not in multiple areas. So that's pretty good. Create some map. I haven't done anything with this. That'll be the next episode. You can close that off. Just looking over my stuff here. The last thing before I close this, I'm going to do all the properties for all the stuff here. Let's close events. So the way I do this, I copy a lot. Copy and paste because it's just faster. Copy a whole bunch of them. So let's do collision. Texture. Should be this one. This is a rectangle. That one's done. Enabled. This is a bool. This will be another bool right below it, which is visible. And the map type. This one I'm going to do both of them at the same time. Call it type. Type. Actually, I'm going to do a map type. The min and max. This is an int. Min health. Int max. Min. Let's copy this. X. What else? And this is more like a flag. Yeah, okay. Is dead. I'm not gonna allow it to set it. It's just gonna show if it's dead. In the update call, in my update call, if min is greater than 0, min equals 0, is dead, true. So it's it's more like a flag. You can't set it, but it'll tell the list to remove it. That's all. Actually, I can do this another way, so it's more compact. So what I can do is remove all this. Equals true, false. This is more simpler. It's more one line. Basically, what I did there with the if statement is basically this. If this is greater than 0, this is the true part. This is the false part. So you can do this as multiple ways, or you can use this as in multiple ways. I won't get too much into this. You have to look this up, Google it, and you'll understand. Alright, I don't think there's anything else I need to do here. Well, there is something else. This is more stats, private, and damage, defense. Because each node gives you better stats for your units to attack, or some nodes have better defense. So that's what that's about. Now be through our random generator. Some of them have really low. Like if you're trying to defend your units in an area, you can go to that area and you have a better chance to survive and stuff like that. Stuff like that. So I'm going to do the damage and defense. Damage. Oops. Alright, so that's pretty much it. Oh, so this is end. So that's pretty much it, guys, for today. I'm gonna load up one more time. There's all the nodes. Just kind of cool. But that's pretty much it what I do for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of me doing all this crazy stuff. And I'll see you in the next one. And I hope you enjoyed it. So, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for watching.